Alright everyone, it's time for another diecast video, and today I've taken another piece out of my 1/64 scale diecast collection to feature. And this is a rather unique one for me because it was one of the first elaborate pieces that I got when I really got into collecting 1/64 scale diecast. And it's also a custom, which I'll say right now, I did not build this myself. I actually purchased it from an individual who built it, and I have made alterations to it over time. But this was also one of the most expensive pieces that I've purchased for my collection, just because of the way these are and how much time and money goes into building them. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have here, and I think some of you will be very impressed with this, as was I. So some of you may have already noticed, this is a Peterbilt 379 with a stretched frame, a big sleeper, and I've also got a spread axle reefer trailer to go with this. Now, there's nothing custom with the trailer, and I'll talk about that a little bit here later, but the main focus is the truck, and you can probably see that this is a very impressive looking rig. It's got quite a bit of size to it, and I think it was about 10 years ago now that I purchased this, and I remember I wanted one of these for my 1/64 scale collection. But one thing about these trucks was that they are, or at least at the time, they were very expensive. Something like this with the stretched frame and the big sleeper on it, I've seen some of them sell for between $300 to $400, if not more. I know at the time I got this, there was one guy who was selling these trucks, and that's about what they were going for. And I know some other customizers at the time built these. I'm not sure if anyone's still making them today. I'd assume some guys are, but it's in limited numbers. But a lot of work to put into one of these, and I really wanted one, but I did not want to pay that $300 to $400 price tag. There was a guy I came across on Facebook actually had one of these he was looking to get rid of, and he offered it up to me for, I think it was like $120, and I threw up an offer of $100 for him, and surprisingly he took it. This truck has had some changes made to it over time. It's not as it was when I purchased it, but I'll go ahead and show you a little more detail on this. So this truck basically started out as your typical DCP rig. The only difference is that somebody cut the frame, stretched it out, and put the sleeper on. And the way you do this, or at least the way I normally do it, is you go out, pick a truck that you want to stretch the frame on, and usually cut it just in front of the rear axle here, and then patch it up with brass and leave it like that if you just want a stretched frame, or take the time and add a bigger sleeper to it. But this truck here was pretty much the same process, I'm going to assume. And you can see that just in front of the axle here is where it was cut. There was two different sizes of brass that were used to extend the frame, and then a piece of aluminum to extend the drive shaft. And then the sleeper was added, which this is a 4-inch sleeper. I've got a couple other trucks which are fitted with 3-inch sleepers and 2-inch sleepers. And I know there was a guy, custom build trucks, I believe on eBay, actually sold the sleepers by themselves, the stretch kits by themselves, or you could get the entire sleeper and stretch kit together. But I did buy a few of those from him over time, but I've just found it cheaper to go to K&S for the brass anymore. Save a little bit of money there. But yeah, you can see that again the truck was stretched out, new sleeper added, and custom stickers were added to it as well, which these are, I believe, like vinyl stickers. I do have a sticker sheet here from when I was customizing. You can see you've got different windows and doors and cabinets that you can use. But yeah, really looks good, I think. Some other things were custom aluminum fuel tanks were added. I noticed these toolboxes or chain cabinets here, these would be off at like your DCP trailers and such. Extra steps were added to the back, and custom stainless steel deck plate right there. You can also see the sleeper rear door has been fitted to this as well. Really nice detail on this. I can see that quite a bit of effort went into this truck. Another set of horns were added to the roof, and I think that's about all that was done to this truck. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I have made some alterations to this over the years, and one of the big changes I made was the truck originally came with hump fenders on the back, which were made of resin, and I really didn't care for them because the way they were fitted, they didn't allow the rear wheels to turn. So I got rid of those, and in later years I got another truck that I pulled the fenders off of to put on this. And this truck also had a stainless steel bit which came down and had the lights on it. That I kept for a few years, but then I got rid of it. Actually, if I just reach over my shoulder here, I think I've got a truck that has this. This is basically what was on the back of that before. Something looks similar to this, but I just didn't feel that it had to be on there, so I got rid of it. But just gonna put that back. So yeah, changed out the fenders on the truck. That was one change I made. Then this was one year I was at a Diecast show. I accidentally dropped this truck, and if you remember how much I said one of these is worth, yeah, you definitely don't want to drop one of these. But thankfully, when I did drop it, though, what happened was it landed on one of the stacks. This truck originally had monster stacks on it, and apparently when I dropped it on those stacks, the one stack apparently took most of the impact and, you know, broke the stack off. I think I might have knocked one of the fuel tanks off. There was a little paint chip in the sleeper, and I think the exhaust under here would have possibly came off as well. But after damaging the stacks that were on the truck, which I really didn't care for them to begin with, so changing them out wasn't that big of a deal. I got some new ones to put on this, and I can't remember if I made these myself or if I ordered them from custom built trucks, but I just wasn't really a fan of the monster stacks. I kind of like these ones more, and I'm thinking that's really all the changes I've made to this truck. I don't think I've done anything else. I don't think there's really anything else I can point out that the original customizer did to this. Like I said before, I didn't build this, someone else did, but I've just made a couple alterations to it to suit my liking. And yeah, not really much else I can say. You still got the working steering on the truck, like DCP includes. And this truck has a Cummins motor in it. Of course, you got the opening hood. And yes, the working suspension still exists as well. Now, there's really nothing custom with the trailer. It's pretty much just as stock standard as it comes from DCP. And the way I got this was I was just browsing eBay one day and came across this and thought to myself, oh, you know, that'd be a nice trailer to put with the 379 since it never had one. So went ahead and snatched it up. I don't really remember how much I paid for it, but I don't think it was much more than, you know, $30, $40, if even that. But it's got a lot of stainless on it. You can see the back doors are stainless. It's even got the stainless steel roof. You can see the camera there. But also other little details like the chain cabinets or toolboxes on it. It's got the utility mud flaps, spare tire. I want to say that's the fuel tank for the compressor. I noticed some stuff here. Possibly this was a limited run for something. But yeah, and then it's got the Thermo King Reefer unit on the front. In a way, it kind of looks like the trailer from BJ and the Bear, but that one had the white stripe across it and not the, you know, black one going along the bottom. But yeah, got that trailer, and it's a really nice addition, I feel, to the 379. Pretty much completes it. Well, that's pretty much it for this custom. Like I said before, it's a special piece of my collection just because of the history of how I got it, and, you know, some of the changes I've made and just the unique look of it, I guess. And after I got my hands on this truck, it did encourage me to try to stretch a couple other DCP trucks. And I mean, I even had to stretch the frames on the trucks which I used for my custom rotators. But I'd say chances of me getting one of these trucks again, at least pre-made, is you know, not likely, because I really don't want to pay anywhere between $300 to $400 for one of these. I think it's honestly cheaper just to get the materials and build it yourself. But, you know, like I said, I really do like this truck, though. But that's going to be it. Looking at this build, feel free to let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. Also, feel free to check out my other pages, links in the description. And let me know if you want to see more videos on these stretched custom trucks. I'd be happy to upload more.